G'day, I'm Clive and welcome. Today we're going to have a look at the Sea to Summit Ultralight Insulated. Now this size one is the regular one. I've used it for 2 winters and a few times in the summers in between, and just about to go into the 3rd winter of use. Now I've still got the original box, which I'm quite surprised at. Most of these things I take out and they go, but here it is. It's got all the instructions on here to say the weights and everything. Length is 183 centimeters, which is 72 inches, by 55 centimeters wide, which is 21.5 inches. The thickness is 5 centimeters, which is 2 inches. Weight is 480 grams, and that is 16.9 ounces. So it's fairly lightweight. And let's have a look, anything else on here? Oh yeah, and it comes with the Airstream stuff sack, which weighs 41 grams, which is 1.4 ounces. And again, that's for the regular size one. Okay, let's go through all the specs here. Air sprung cell, Erkin platinum is quiet and reflects radiant heat. Thermalite insulation prevents convective heat transfer. 30 and 40D nylon with extrusion laminated TPU. Anti-microbial treatment is added to the internal TPU lamination. And TentWorld. So we'll go through it, we'll go over what they've said on here, and I'll let you know what I think of it and how I've got on with it over the last, what's that now, it'll be, yeah, over 2.5 years actually, because like I said, 2 winters going into the 3rd one now. But the sack, it fits in. You have to make sure you roll it up and get the air out, but it does go in once you've done that, nice and easy. And it's a double-ended. Now I think this end is the matte, if I remember. Yep. So the grey end is where your matte actually goes in, and I'd say it's like a yellowy orange colour. The little toggles can be fiddly, they're so small, but they're trying to keep the weight down. But down the actual yellow end, we've got the pump. So, and they call it the Airstream pump sack. So, pull the mat out. Now, it did come with a pillow lock system, but I haven't put it on. I'm having no problems with my pillows, so maybe one day I will put it on. It comes with if I remember rightly, I've got it in here. Yep, a very basic repair kit, which has got a valve in there, some round sticky bits and some square sticky bits. So if you get a hole, wash it out, go in bush, you can find a hole and put one of these on, and it'll get you through. And Airstream mat, we've got the little connector bit at this end which will connect to here. Excuse me, my hand's a bit knackered at the moment. Let's make room, move these over here, don't need them now. Now rolling it up to get it back into the Airstream bag there, it's fairly straightforward. It's basically folding it into thirds, and that will go in. Sometimes I fold it a little bit bigger than thirds and it still fits in with a bit of a poke. So it's going to wrap it up. So that's roughly, that doesn't even go a third, that one does, but we can. Let's take that to about a third. Bring this one over for the other third. Reaches the edge. And roll it up. And that fits easier and comfortable. So some people don't show that, so yep, folding it into a third that way and then just roll it back up, making sure the air's coming out, and you got your valve undone here. Using the Airstream on it. Now this is the bottom I've got facing up at the moment. I always fold it over to the bottom so the valve is always on top, so as I roll it up the air has got somewhere to come out. It's not going to get stuck over like that and restrict the airflow. So even like this you can feel the insulation in there, and you can hear, I've got the microphone here, so it's not like that potato chip or your crisp packet sound. If you hold it up to the light, I don't know if you can see it from there. Yeah, I think we can just about see it on the camera. We can see where the insulation is. So that doesn't go all the way up to the edges, because as that expands it lifts up, so your edge will move from here to about here. So this is what I mean, this is where I keep the valve open. So when your actual sleep mat is fully inflated, it's closed like that and no air has leaked out since I've been using it. Now you can see we've got two pulley points, if you want to call them that. So the first one is when you're inflating it, your Airstream sack will go on here, or any electrical pump, to blow it up, and you've got a little valve there that you can adjust once you're laying on the mat to soften it to suit you, and I'll show you that in a little while. And when you come to let the whole thing down, pull that open, and that just allows you to dump all the air out. Just a lot quicker and a lot easier than having to roll all the air out and push it. Now this is the part that goes on to there. Just push it on till you hear the click, and that's where you blow the Airstream up. Now this Airstream, I have used it on a couple of occasions and it's made it easier. I carry a little electric pump which will be shown in another video, but these have taken that bit where you're sitting there going doing 20, 25, 30 puffs to get it in here. So I'm going to use this now and see how many it's going to take. Now the bottom bit here is wider than the top bit, so this section here we're just going to blow towards it, and what that draws, it draws the air into here and it fills it up, and then we're just going to roll it. So now as you can see that went up and I didn't even have to put my mouth in, so it says roll it, holds the air in, and just roll it up or squash it down, whatever you want to do. There's one. There's two, and as you can see, as it's inflating, it's actually shortening to the length it's meant to be, and it's pulling in widthwise to the width, and we're actually building up to that 2-inch or 5 centimeters. So like I said, the valve there is one way valve, one for inflating and one for deflating. So as we're inflating, there's no air coming back out as we go. So that makes it a lot easier, and we can just take our time. Just over 2.5 bagfuls, and this is blown up fairly firm. So all I'm going to do now is just pull it off, and then all I'm going to have to do is just stir it up, and it's ready to use. Now that little valve in here, I'm going to open that top one again, the inflator, and as you can see there's no air coming out. But if the actual sleep mat's a bit firm for you for any reason, all you can do is press that, and you hear the air coming out, and this has gently gone softer now. So you can adjust it with this. If you go too far, put your set back on, blow it up again, and then adjust it to what's going to suit you. And to let the whole thing down, nice and simple, we just pull the other one and seconds, and the mat is ready to be rolled up again. Now let's get it up again. Don't mind doing this because it's so easy, it takes very little effort. Again. There's one. Oh, just over 1.5, nearly 2, because there's still air left in it. Now let's get the right words for this. Air-sprung cells are independent air chambers that conform to your body contours without affecting adjacent cells. Now that's these here. And when it comes to comfort, they have, let's say they revolutionised it. It's so comfortable with these. I've led on here, and normally, unless I got my knees up a bit, I end up with a bit of an ache in my back. But with using this, my body, it conforms to the shape of my body, so my body comes in, my butt goes down a bit, so that gets rid of me having to lift my knees up, because it comes back up, and then my legs come all the way down. Nice and comfortable. Now these little bits in the middle are spot welded, and they are the same on the opposite side. They actually join together. I've had some people say and ask, because these aren't part of the insulation, as they say, don't you get cold patches? Well, what actually happens with these is you've got this dimple here at the bottom and the top. So as you're laying on here, it's warming these little bits up, and that's actually helping to keep you warm. Right. Now, just putting my arm on there, I can feel the heat reflecting straight back into my arm. And that includes with these little dots where they are. Hold it across. Yeah, still nice and warm. Not losing any heat out of there, I'm not. Right, let's see if we missed anything. Yeah, they say individually conforming air-sprung cells allow uniform pressure distribution for unsurpassed comfort, which is basically what I said, as I'm sitting there, the weight of my bum pushes that down, allows me to get a really comfortable lay on it. And the next thing they've got on here is the pillow lock. Not using it on here. I've seen other people use it. Some people love it, some people don't. I've seen other people where they've got it on here and it's just got all messed up. So each to your own. If you want to put them on and you want it on your pillow to, or your pillow to be locked on there, great. But this side will be the hook bit. So that is going to be slightly abrasive. What else have we got down here? Anything else we need to say? No, that's everything on here. A single layer technology with X-Kin Platinum and Thermalite insulation. Now that works. The insulation on it. I have taken this down below 0. That's degrees centigrade or Celsius, whatever you want to call it. And it has kept me warm. I've still been able to feel the warmth come up off this at below 0. Now I've got a 4.2 sleep mat. R value is supposed to be 4.2. Now with that one at roughly the same temperature, it doesn't feel warm, it doesn't feel cold, it's just equal to my body temperature, say. Whether that means I'll get cold, the colder it gets, then I'll find out on that one. But this one, like I said, I've taken it down below the 0 degrees centigrade and I've felt the heat, the warmth still coming off. I use a top quilt sometimes, so I lay directly onto here most of the time because of that, or I lay straight on here when I'm using the top quilt, not most of the time, all the time I've got a top quilt. And I'm always warm. It has made no difference whether I'm laying on in a sleeping bag or the quilt. I'll still be warm and comfortable on my back. I don't think there's much more to be said about it, apart from since using this one, I have had good night's sleep on it. I've been comfortable. I've seen they've got some now with higher R values and a bit thicker and in the extreme temperatures. I haven't tried any of them, so I can't say whether this and that and over the years. But this one, they still make now, they still sell it now. And all I can say is it's still very comfortable, keeps me very warm. And if I had to, I'd buy it again, because it does everything I need it to do. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I've given you an insight into this sleep mat and what I think of it. And if you have and you're not already a subscriber, please go down below, click on the subscribe button, then click on the notification bell next to it and select all, so you'll be notified of all future videos. And if you are already a subscriber, again, I thank you very much.